Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Spotlight honors boxing coach Tom Yankello of Cranberry Township, inducted into the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame. Recruiting news. We're going to see these players this year because we're doing 2 Seneca Valley's football games. Wide receiver, defensive back Luke Lawson, he's one of the best, and running back, linebacker Aiden Lysig, both committed to the U.S. Naval Academy. So we'll see them against Pine Richmond, and we'll see them against North Allegheny. As last week in our show, they are loaded. Seneca Valley have 13 starters back. That's a lot in high school.
Yeah, they just need to get over the hump. That's all. Because we know they're good.
Yeah,
but the competition, they have to just gear up and get ready to take out those
you're
teams.
going to get a second chance at them. That's the key.
Uh-huh.
Even if you would upset once, you have to do it again.
One thing about the Raiders, they're always physical.
Absolutely.
Seneca Valley baseball pitcher Nate Malik commits to Slippery Rock University. He's going to a great baseball program. Mars soccer standout Gwen Howe, who has been a leader on defense for Mars' powerful championship program. She commits to the University of Richmond. And in area baseball, Mars wins a 5th straight Eagle County League championship, 3-2 win over Cranberry Township on Rick Devereaux's walk-off single in the bottom of the 7th, driving home Nick Aroni with the winning run. Winning pitcher Jim Devine scattered 9 hits and struck out 11 over 7 innings. Jesse Clary of Cranberry Township, he collected 3 hits. Our stories of the week: the NFL, Steelers 16, Jacksonville 15, and the tale of 3 quarterbacks, if there's such a tale. Mitch Trubisky, 3 series, 5 of 8, 60 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. Kenny Pickett, George, remember last week I said he's going to be bumped up to number 2. He went 2 series, 6 of 7, 76 yards, 1 TD. And Mason Rudolph, 5 series, 17 of 21, 127 yards, 1 TD, and no interceptions. So the questions now: will Trubisky start? Should he start? Is Pickett a serious contender for the number 1 spot? And it doesn't matter what Mason Rudolph does. He's going to stay where. This was interesting. I was listening the week before when Pickett in the first game came in, third quarterback against the third stringers. He looked great. Rudolph had that great series, but they said he did it against the third stringers. But I heard no such comment about Pickett.
He's in Hall of Fame. He goes tomorrow.
Again. So what do you guys think?
Trubisky's going to be the starter. That was a no-brainer, but it's really interesting what they do with Rudolph to me. He's good enough to play in the NFL, and I don't think they want to pay him that much money.
$5 million he makes. You're gonna pay your third string.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they do.
Do you trade him for the Jets in Detroit? Might be interesting.
I do 3rd or 4th round pick. If you,
I don't think you can get higher in the 5th.
That's what I say. Right there,
right in that area.
Yeah, I think Detroit might. I think he's better than Goff. I really do. I think he throws a better deep ball. He's and listen. Let me say this about Trubisky. He stumbles. They booed Rudolph. They say great Pittsburgh fans. Why would you boo Rudolph in his first game?
Because they're pitiful.
That's a shame.
Hey, and I'll say this: the one Rudolph threw in there on 4th down, there wasn't this much room.
Yeah, there isn't much room.
I mean, he threw a nice
well,
ball.
then I heard one Pittsburgh guy say, "Well, he should have had an interception. Should have, would have." The guy dropped it.
No,
he didn't have it.
Don't listen to this.
Nothing really counts in preseason to me.
He doesn't even watch it.
Do you understand?
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
They are so vanilla.
Yeah.
When they get out to that first game, they'll be in defenses they've never seen. That's just the way it is. I mean, so don't judge.
You're right.
Preseason.
And Trubisky, if he stumbles out of the gate, he's going to hear the boos and he's going to hear the chants for Pickett.
Oh.
Yeah, they're practicing their cheers right now. That's the truth.
Yeah. And he had a run for his life. Now let me ask
Pickett really
you
looked
guys,
good, by the way. I'm not trying to think he really looked good.
Yeah.
I just don't know who he played against. See, I don't know.
Exactly.
All you do is change 4 numbers on the other side.
Yeah.
They're really not first team anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know who he played against.
We said last week,
right.
90% of the roster is made up. Your top 3
Definitely.
teams. So you're playing 6 or 7 guys who can fit in your special teams or backups.
That's all preseason is for.
It's predetermined.
That's all.
It's got which little brother they're keeping, Watt or Hayward. That's kind of stuff. They're down to the last 5 guys. They're not keeping everyone.
Now Trubisky had to run for his life. The offensive line was terrible, horrible. 24 yards rushing. Matt Canada using a lot of rollouts. Is this a steady diet for success during a regular season? Because when you roll out, you're limited to 1/3 of the field
No.
passing wise.
Hey, let me ask you guys, too.
Corner blitzes.
No
Hey, let me
chance.
ask you, the worst offensive line of the league went out and got all your money on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Number
that's
one
what they
defense
decided to
pay.
do.
What
Last.
they are offense.
First and last.
Yeah.
Detroit's first the other way on offense.
So let me ask you something. The final preseason game, how much do you play Trubisky and Pickett? what do you
They're the
do?
only team's going to play him because they have to play a quarterback, but nobody's playing anybody.
You trade to
It's just a wasted
Trubisky
game.
a whole quarter, a whole half? What
no,
do you do?
No. I would think somewhere in the first quarter he'll be out.
You put Najee Harris in at all?
No, he's not
no,
playing.
no.
He's not playing.
Now, if you look at the Steelers' depth, that they're very strong at wide receiver. They got 7 guys, but they're only going to carry 5. Someone's going to get picked up by another team. There have a lot of depth at tight end. Do you trade a wide receiver, tight end for maybe an offensive lineman, or they need some help at inside linebacker? They just can't rely on Miles Jack.
They're going to try to.
Yeah,
It's just if there's another team that wants to. It takes 2 to tango. Let's put it that way. They don't want to get taken. Just give something
no,
away.
that's right.
Yeah.
Just give them away.
Do you give up a Claypool or Deontay Johnson
No,
for a starting
no,
offensive lineman?
Not a chance. No, those are two big.
They
time
better
receivers.
get Trubisky running for his life.
Well, here's the other thing. If you're going to wait till after the third exhibition game and pick up guys who are cut, you're usually picking up guys, once again, they're cut. They're not good enough to make the team. The other thing is you're going to pick up an older veteran whose better days are behind him.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to improve your line, you have to make a trade.
You have to make a big deal if you can. But I told you, I don't think other people want to make those deals.
No, they're
They
not
don't
giving
get
up
their
linemen
offensive
either.
linemen. Yeah.
Because what's the most important position? Quarterback. How do you get your quarterback killed? Bad offensive line.
And let me say this about the defensive line. Thank good Cam Hayward is there. He's a true pro. He plays hard every down. Without him,
One of the best players in Pittsburgh history.
yeah, losing and those two together, it made it tough on other teams running the ball. Still, the ball they're not doing what I call an outstanding job yet against the run.
They're not good against the run. They're not good against the run. That's the weakness.
And if Miles Jacks gets hurt, they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're not good against the run. That'll be interesting in that first game. See how they can stop Cincinnati's run attack.
Hey, what are you going to say, Swan?
No, that's what I was going to say. Because they're not running the ball right now either. They carried, I think, 14 times for 24
yards.
I mean, that's not running the ball.
And Jacksonville had 97 yards rushing.
In Jacksonville and Seattle, we don't know this. They could be the 2 worst teams.
Possible. How about this around the NFL? Brady on extended leave. Returns after a 10-day absence. Not sure what was going on. They said might have been something with family.
Yeah, vacation.
Take him on a vacation or something. Hey, and I was listening to ESPN radio one night, and I heard that when Brady left New England, he and Gronk were already this close to signing a contract with the Raiders.
That was Dana White. Right? I saw
Guess
it live.
who nixed it?
Yeah,
Gruden.
I saw it live.
Why'd he nix it?
Okay. Well, if you believe Gruden's the smartest guy in the room, he didn't want to be the second smartest. I watched it, and I don't think Gronk knew a thing about it. They acted like Gronk. I watched it when they
But
announced.
Gronk
I
was going to follow Brady, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was watching live though, and I'll tell you, that was Dana White bombshell.
That was so that floored me when I heard
Yeah.
that. I never knew that he even entertained
I don't think
leaving
Gronk
New
knew
England
it.
for
Well, they
Vegas.
said Gronk. If I watched that, and I watched it, he didn't know either.
Interesting, very interesting.
And Davis played the dummy. He said, "I don't remember."
Have
He's
you want
tampering probably. That's why.
we hear the rosters are 53, and you think it's easy. Look it up, guys. It is convoluted. It is complicated. They have this level, second level, third level, fourth level, this rule, this regulation. Yeah. Why does this have to be so complicated?
Money. Comes back to it every time, all the
Sneak
time.
'em in
You
Contracts.
can't do this if this is
it's all
here.
based on contracts. That's
I'm so leery of pro sports when a team like Golden State can be 100 and some million over. What kind of, that's no salary cap.
And I said to myself, why am I reading all this? I don't really. It's
No,
more than
They'll
enough.
get them in somehow. They'll restructure.
Oh, they do all kind, and then they find tricks.
We have a
and
buddy
loopholes.
who's an agent. His phone's been ringing because O-linemen in Tampa, 2 of them dropped.
Yes. As someone else, the Browns lost their starting center.
Absolutely.
But picking up guys now is you're picking up someone to fill
You
a
don't
spot.
want to pick too many. That's
You're not getting
That
too many
one dude
women.
for Pittsburgh, he graded out at like 24 or something. They said he was a turnstile last year. They moved him. He's
Green.
still a turnstile.
It's Green, the guard. Sunday's paper, the Post-Gazette, Gene Collier on the Steelers having 23 coaches, and I'm looking. So I started me to look. The Browns have 29. The Ravens have 29. Cincy has 23. Kansas City 29. New England has 20. Most teams, almost every team has at least 20 coaches. So I started to think about the Steelers winning their Super Bowls under Noel. They had 12 coaches.
Yeah.
Now they have assistants to the assistants.
And I wish some of them did something on game day. You know, I get so tired of watching mistakes
They've been
made.
getting away with one
Mistakes
another.
made on game
29
day.
coaches.
Yeah,
And in
I
Pittsburgh,
agree.
you have 3 guys. You have Tomlin.
Right.
You have the guy they brought from Tampa, and you have the guy from Sharon.
Yeah, Terrell
They're all
Austin,
doing the defense.
Brian Flores.
Well, who's doing the defense?
Then you have a linebacker coach. You have assistant
Sure.
to the linebacker.
Yeah.
How about before? You have the offensive line coach. Now you have a tight end coach for 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends.
Yeah, it's so different.
And
What
don't
can you
forget the
say?
staff, like the nutrition staff and things. That
They
you
got
don't
all
even
kinds.
know
They have
about.
conditioning and the assistant
Absolutely.
conditioner and the Pilates instructor and all. It's amazing to me. 29 coaches for 53 players.
Yeah, I want to see if they're coached.
Yeah. Call timeout instead. Yeah.
That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when coaching at Butler, like you get ready for a JV game, and Bernardi sent all the players over. I'd have 65 players, just me
Oh yeah,
and Tim
You
Noon.
know, one other guy. There'd be 2 guys.
2 guys.
Everybody in high school. Saturday mornings have 2 coaches.
So you had to get both offense, defense,
Yes.
kicking teams,
Nah,
special
you didn't.
teams ready.
No, it's the same with basketball. They got one to work out every guy now when they do their individuals. Come on.
Hey, Major League Baseball, the Pirates are 47-75. They announced that Derek Shelton's returning for a 4th year. Someone said, "What do you think about it?" I said, "Well, why would you get rid of him? For what reason? What change are you going to make?"
Yeah, he has no players.
Would there be any point in
I
changing?
like jumping on him just for the fun of it.
Right, but
he has no players.
No.
No, it's
And the Pirates have been 6-21 since the All-Star break. Boston took 2 out of 3 from them, and here we go. And I ask you guys, I'm going to mention it. Hall of Fame relief pitcher, great when Red Sox analyst Dennis Eckersley said on the Pirates, if you talk about a no-name lineup, there's no team like this. This is a hodgepodge of nothingness. It's ridiculous. It really is. And then a Pirate GM Charrington chipped in, don't judge our progress on wins and losses. Well, what do we judge this on? You tell me. And was Eckersley out of line?
No, he wasn't out of line.
He's-
I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think he's out of line. To watch the Pirates, I don't know who their young players are right now because they're up so many up and down.
Mm.
I would just stick with the 5 or 6 kids and see what they can do. Instead, there's a different lineup every night.
Does he have do you think there might be something between him and Charrington from when he was in Boston?
I don't
It
think
almost
so.
sounded like it.
I really don't think so. Here's the lineup. I checked when they lost to the Reds 10-1. Here was the Pirates lineup: 220, 275. That was Newman. 262 Reynolds, and then 249, 236, 196, 178, 175, 198. Guys, that's not a major league lineup.
No, it's
That's
not a-
pretty bad.
And that's why the record is what
What
it
they
is.
call that one used to call it riding the interstate when you were
Yes.
in the 100. Hey, Al, the other thing, too, they were talking the other day about that. When they look at these managers, they say, well, we'll give them a vote of confidence. That doesn't always mean you're back forever. I mean, he's back next year.
And
for
I
sure.
heard someone say, well, next year he has to start winning. Start winning what? Well, like he's going to win 75 or 80 games next year?
Oh, one more thing. I've read this. The kid at shortstop that has the power but
Cruz.
strike. Okay. They're bringing someone in to work with them. Now, you know my question. What were those guys doing?
I just wish, maybe I'm really old school, that every now and then he would drag bunt.
Yeah,
You
you're
would
not
see
seeing
something
that.
like that.
No.
Now, someone said, well, he's on pace to hit 30 homers. My response is he strikes out 2 times every game. He would make Dave Kingman look like a piker when it comes to striking. He'd strike out 250 to 300 times. There's something they have to work with him to cut down those strikeouts.
Yeah.
He can hit left-handers breaking balls.
Yeah, he can't hit lefties right now at all. That's
But isn't that quite normal for big lefty hitters,
Yeah,
young.
it is.
Did McCovey struggle? McCovey was 6'6". Did he struggle that
Early,
much at first?
early.
Parker. Carlton used to get Parker just eat out of his hand.
Early.
Carlton used to get a lot of guys.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Hey, here the last 20 years, the 4 worst teams in Major League Baseball. It's got me thinking what Eckersley said. The Royals are number 1, 441. Orioles second, 447 winning percentage. The Pirates are third, 451, and the Padres fourth, 467.
San Diego changed. They're
Didn't
the
it?
only one. They're the only one
The only
about.
one.
They went out and bought more, and now they're down in the playoff hunt. You know, they don't want to hear that about money.
And I know
unless you really strike gold with prospects like Tampa did, and they revolve. They trade 2 of them for another 3. Then you can.
And then
make
the
it.
other thing too, the Red Sox, their payroll's over $200 million and under 500. That
well,
is
they were
surely
right
under-
around 5, but don't
Yeah.
forget they won a World Series 2018.
Oh yeah.
They were in the championship series last year.
Oh yeah, they're not
So,
that far back.
Now, Will Crow took umbrage to what Eckersley said.
Yeah.
He said, we lost a lot of close games. Will, in all due respect, no one cares how many close
they don't
games
have
you
to.
lost.
Well, you're
Baltimore
gonna stick up
Ravens.
for yourself.
Baltimore
That's all.
Ravens.
Yeah, he stuck
They
up.
You have
lost.
to do
Baltimore
it.
Ravens lost 4 games last year by what, 9 points.
You know
Nobody
who,
cares.
You know who else stuck up for him? Reynolds.
Yeah, you have to stick
They
up.
both
did. Yeah.
You have to step up, and you know they're professional athletes.
But of course, the next line they compared Crow's stats to Eckersley.
When I look at what Eckersley said, the other thing that I see what he said was, this shouldn't be this way. This should be a better major league team. Now, don't forget, the Pirates had that brief shining moment, 2013 to 15, out of the last 25 years. They were the darlings of Major League Baseball.
It was great. It was
They got
fun.
all kinds of praise. So
Hey, you know what else too? I
you
saw
have to
much-
take the criticism
Hey,
with the
hey, I
praise.
saw how much money he made too.
Who's that, George?
The owner.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
it's extremely
It's
profitable.
incredible. And that was the year they spent $70 million on salary. They're not near that this year.
Not near it.
So you 2013, 14, 15, and they dismantled that team
Yeah.
and
No, they got rid of the
let
man,
go of
too.
a good manager
Absolutely.
and Clint Hurdle.
Yeah, it still bothers me to death that, like, I understand Sheldon can't win, but they're not blaming him.
No.
Somehow Hurdle got blamed for this.
They took all the players away from Hurdle
Yeah.
and then
And
fired
let's
him
blame
because
him,
he
yes.
lost.
How about they fired him by email too? I'll never get over that. He was in the building.
Gutless. College football, August 27th, Duquesne at Florida State.
I think
Later
Florida
games
State
for
will
the
win.
Dukes, Hawaii and Youngstown State. The Dukes and Coach Jerry Schmidt, who is an excellent coach. They're looking forward to the game. They're fired up, and it reminds me my junior year at the Rock. We were opening up the season against the defending NAIA national champion Waynesburg Yellow Jackets, coached by Carl DePasqua. We were
that's right.
fired up. They had 3 pro players on that team. Dave Smith, Steelers.
Oh, was he a good player?
Don Herman, wide receiver, Giants.
Yeah.
Don Paul was a quarterback and a longtime Giant punter. We were fired up. Everything went well. We were until the kickoff. We got beat 61-7.
Yeah.
We had no chance. Don Herman caught 14 passes for 200 yards. I don't know what Smith. It was impossible.
He ended up at IUP.
Smith then
Yes,
left
he did.
Waynesburg, went to IUP.
He's the one who spiked the ball in the 5.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
One thing about if I'm going to play him, I play Florida State.
I played against them
They
twice.
screw up so much on penalties, and
Yeah.
you know their talent will be way more. But I know Florida State will they'll fumble twice, throw an interception, jump offside 7 times. It's Florida State.
And don't forget what they did last year opening game. Jacksonville
Yeah, they lost.
State.
Exactly.
The Dukes are going to get $400,000. Next year they open up at West Virginia. Pitt will be in the future. That's being discussed
Yeah, yeah.
between Schmidt and Narduzzi. I was telling someone about Duquesne's great history. They won the first 2 Orange Bowls when their coach was Elmer
Bill
Layden.
Bourne.
Elmer Layden, yeah, out of Notre Dame's 4 Horsemen. They beat Miami. They beat Mississippi State. Layden was their coach from 27 to 33. They were a powerhouse playing Pitt.
Back in those days,
Carnegie
Carnegie Mellon
Tech.
was Carnegie Tech was a powerhouse.
Carnegie
Yes,
Tech.
yes,
They had big
Yep,
game. And guess who else
absolutely.
was a big game was with? Geneva.
How about that?
They played Geneva, I think, at Forbes Field before
Wow.
26,000.
So awesome.
There you
That's
go.
a big crowd at Forbes
No,
Field.
that's a big opportunity for these guys. The one
Great
caveat,
recruiting.
you
Great
know what
recruiting
it is,
tool.
getting people hurt.
Well,
There's a difference in the size and the speed.
well, look at this. They play at home before 2,000. They're going to be at Doak Campbell Stadium before 80,000.
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
It
For a
is
kid,
exciting.
For a kid to go to
Absolutely.
Duquesne,
Hey, when they
it's-
throw
it's
that
a dream.
spear into
Yes.
midfield,
When that horse
they'll be
comes
they'll be
out.
looking down the other end just a little.
And that's next year to open up West Virginia. And it's just the day's coming. They're going to open up at with Pitt.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's just around the corner. What is the spread in the game? Last year they lost to TCU 45-3. The Dukes. What's
Yeah,
the spread
I
on
haven't
this
even-
game?
I didn't
haven't
see it
even
either.
Is it in the?
seen
Is
it.
it
No,
I didn't
around
see it.
25?
Oh,
26?
it better be.
It'll be higher. It'll be higher now.
35.
It'll be 30 something.
35, you
Yeah.
think? Hey, take it to the bank. The Big Ten to sign a 7-year, $7 billion deal with Fox, CBS, NBC to start in 2023. That's a little bit better than the SEC. Same amount of money, but the SEC spread over 10 years. That deal starts with ESPN in 2020.
What do you notice about the Big Ten?
Wow.
No ESPN.
Yeah, no ESPN.
That's the big one.
Big money, though.
But ESPN has that too. That big. The gym is 3:30 Saturday.
Yes.
They'll
That
have
time.
it next year. We won't have to watch Gary Danielson anymore.
I just
Yeah.
hope I don't have to go around the channel. It's one of the worst things I have to do when I can't find a game. There's so many channels, and
Well,
I can't.
that-
I can't find the game I want to watch. It drives me nuts.
There are 30 games every Saturday.
I said I can't find it.
That's why you can't really go and
Call
say.
me. I'll tell you where.
You know, at one time, if you said Alabama, Mississippi was
you
on,
knew this.
that would be the top rating. But
Yeah.
now there could be Alabama, Mississippi, but
Well, how
there could
about
be
the same
Florida
night?
State and
How about
Miami.
the first night you got Purdue hosting Penn State and Pitt hosting West Virginia on a Thursday?
Yeah,
And
right.
I mean, gee.
And Saturday, a ton of games.
Oh, Notre Dame, Ohio
that's why
State.
you
Why
can't
did
go
they call
by
it? Why did they
single
call it week 0? My wife asked me. I didn't know what the reason was.
Because you could scrimmage or play.
play.
Oh,
Or
okay.
you're
In,
gonna
in other words, if you want, no, you know the guys that are good want to play. The guys that are lousy don't want it to count. How simple is that?
All
Hey,
right. So somebody's playing a scrimmage that night,
They can't.
and that's not counted.
Yeah.
Hey, Kirby Smart has signed a 10-year, $112 million
Yeah.
deal with Georgia, but now
Yeah.
Saban's
I'll go lift
negotiating
it up,
a new
yeah.
deal.
Oh,
He's going to go.
jeez.
He's going to go right past
How about the Regos?
Kirby.
How about the
You
Regos?
can't let 'em out.
Because somebody has
Yep,
one more cent than you.
absolutely.
You got that's the receivers in the NFL are that way,
Yeah.
and the coaches of college football are that way.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference between 33 million and 33 million,
Well,
a half million? I mean,
yeah.
geez,
So
man.
if you're making Saban's making what, $9 million, so they're going to bump him to 11.
Yeah.
Oh wow, his
Hey,
that's what I'm
lifestyle's
saying.
They've
gonna change.
already torn up his mortgage.
He
They
owns-
ripped his mortgage out.
What he owns a lake.
Oh yeah.
He owns a car dealership.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it bothers me. It does. It really does.
That's why it's hard to argue not paying the kids.
Yeah, and that's been the argument.
I'm
That
all
is the
for it.
argument.
I'm
I
all
know.
for. I know he doesn't like it, but I'm saying, hey, they brought this upon themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't
No
see
one
it
to blame but
Agreed.
They didn't
themselves.
see it
No, they
coming.
didn't see this.
They didn't see it coming because they were too greedy to see it
Yes.
coming.
And how about this? They didn't see it coming in recruiting, and they should have.
Absolutely.
They were.
Oh,
they
we
won't
saw-
use
we
it.
saw that coming.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Here
Have
comes the
you
money.
talked to the players like I had Jake Crater on from Pitt about Jordan? There's no animosity for him leaving to go to USC for $3 million.
No,
That's the other. That's the other new thing. You understand? That's been
sitting out bowls.
That's been on the rise. That kids
Yep.
don't care, but other people do.
No.
No,
Like when a kid goes to, I'm talking about all the way down to my grandsons. If there's a travel game and my kid would have went to the travel game, the next time I see him, I punch him in the face. Now, it's okay. You can miss our game now.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to our game. That's what and it's grown up that way.
Yeah.
It's
But-
changed completely.
but funny is it? Narduzzi said all the players that transferred to Pitt did it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
taking a shot at Addison that he did it for the
Wait a
wrong
minute. Did
reason.
you see the guy?
And
the
then,
other-
you see what Addison said that
Yeah.
bothers
Oh,
him.
hey, did you see the guy the other day that's going to Canavan? You want to be closer to God. God's closer to
At
Canavan
Canavan,
than
he is in Burgestown.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's been well
We
established.
know where he lives. Now we know at least where he lives.
Oh, jeez.
All right, high school football week 0. How about this? Over 30 new coaches in the WPIL. And Albert at Elwood City, Dan Bradley takes over with the 25-game losing streak. He leaves Ulster. We took him to the championship game last year. Can he turn things around at Elwood City?
Well, it's not going to be the coach turns around. I'll tell you that.
Can he get more players out?
He got some more players out. He did.
Okay.
Most of them are young. I think 33 of the 44 are.
I don't much
ninth and 10th
about him,
graders.
do you?
No.
They did struggle in their first scrimmage mightily, and once again, I've said it for 25 years. It's a player's game. Can he? It's not going to be what he changes because the staffs before them. There's been 7 staffs before him. They all get coached too. If the players are good enough, you lived at the Butler.
Yeah.
They went through coaches all good. If the
Yeah.
players get good enough, then you'll win. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had two coaches for 40 years at Butler, and they had
Yeah.
4 or 5 undefeated teams. And since then, it's
How many
been
coaches
a
have they had?
revolving
How
door.
many coaches have they had since?
Since Bernardi
Probably
left,
7 or 8 coaches, I bet.
Oh,
at
absolutely.
least,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
listen, at 6A, you have 5 teams, 4 make the playoffs. They still got that issue.
Jeez.
5A, 18 teams, 8 make the playoffs. 4A, 22 teams, 13 make the playoffs. 3A, 19 teams, 12 make the playoffs. In 2A, 23 teams, 14 make the playoffs. And how about 1A? 30 teams, 16 make the playoffs.
Fans like it. People like me hate it. So, I want to see the top 2 teams in, and maybe some wild card third teams, or somebody might have been hurt, injured.
Albert, I couldn't
That's
agree with you
me.
more. I
That's
just
me.
don't see why a 4-6 or 3-17 should be in the playoffs, and then they get beat 58-6, and they complain about the other team
you can.
running up the
No,
score.
that's right.
That's a good description, Eddie. That's a perfect description.
4 out of 5 is the worst.
Yeah, my rule. I have a rule on that. I really do, and you just said it. If you're not 500, you can't go in the playoffs. That's my rule. I mean,
Cut a week off right away.
I mean,
Just
yes.
my experience. You probably had it too, Farrell. 2 different times. 2 of Bernardi's best teams never got into the playoffs
Oh, it happens all the time.
8-1 gave up 37 points. Went
And that's why I
nowhere.
said 2 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
said 2
like,
should
that's
get
like that's like I was thinking the other day. You were talking about did they win the Whippio? Did they win the state? Well, you can't get in the state if you don't win the Whippio.
Yeah, and 1 year 9-1 with handwriting assaults. The only game they lost to Aliquippa. You know where they went? Nowhere. They sat at home.
Oh yeah. You're not going anywhere.
Altoona had a bunch of teams.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
My
Under
struggle
a great
mentally,
coach.
Eddie, is somebody has 2 great players and they go down early.
Yeah.
They don't play the first 5 games.
Yeah.
Lose all 5. Then they come back and win the next 5. That's my struggle. What do you do with a team that
I know.
is a really great team that the injuries cost them?
Well, Phil Breidenbach had 11 undefeated teams at Newcastle. He won 7 WPL championships. 4 of those teams, even though they were undefeated, only had 1 loss or 1 tie. They didn't go anywhere.
He's the most
They couldn't
underrated
play.
coach ever, by the way.
He's the greatest
You
of
know
all
what?
time.
The other thing too. After 1 week, it's back where it was. Like time-wise, it's not an issue. It's competitive
the
balance.
whoopings. Yeah, the whoopings. Yes.
Well, there's some games to note before we close here. Penn Hills at Seneca Valley, Mount Lebanon and Gateway, Karn City at Du Bois, Pickerington, Ohio, Pine Richland, Aliquippa at Armstrong, North Catholic at Sarah, Mars at Montour. That's it for us. We've run out of time. We'll see you next week.